Buy cheap and safe NBA 2K22 MT at NBA2King.com. You can use code Excapar, that's EXCAPAR, for 5% off your entire purchase. Alright, so we got the new Flash 5 cards here, including some great glitch cards like Chris Paul, Jeremy Lin, Lou Williams, and Sekou Dambou. And obviously, we got to talk about the best way to badge up all of these wonderful cards and just have a good time with us. If you guys are excited, the like button down below and subscribe if you guys are new. Now remember, with each one of these, it based off of the tier of the card, that's how many badges you can add. So for our Galaxy Opals, you know, Chris Paul, Joel Embiid, and Michael Jordan, you can add 6 badges. For Lin, Lamar Odom, you can add 5 because they're diamonds. For Kokoc and Lou Williams, you can also add 5 diamonds, and pink diamonds are the same. Amethyst get 4 and rubies get 3. So starting it off, we have our wonderful man Devin Vassell. Now Devin Vassell is actually a pretty solid card when it comes to just kind of being able to do a little bit of everything, but he's a 6'5", you know, 2 guard, so he's a little bit undersized. And jump shot 91 is a solid jumper, but it is, you know, slightly slow. But he does come with the Deadites and things like that to kind of, you know, help that a little bit. I think the first thing, because he is a really solid defender, already has good defense, I would just add this brick wall just because he is a 2 guard. You don't want him to be pumped too much, you know, on a semi-consistent basis. And then add a limitless spot up, just, you know, you can shoot a little bit deeper, have some fun with it, that sort of stuff. And you can't add chef, so limitless spot up is probably, you know, your next best option. And then after that, I think it's kind of just really up to what you want to do. He has the fundamental dribble style, so he's probably not going to be dribbling too much himself. You know, handles for days, hyper drive, you know, probably not the most amazing thing, but I think something like unstrippable or limitless takeoff can be helpful. Limitless takeoff, just so you can, you know, get those, you know, far away dunks. It just helps your overall dunking ability. He does have an 80 with some pretty solid badges already. And unstrippable makes it so when you're actually going to the basket, people are hitting square, you know, trying to rip the ball from you. It just stops them from being as good and as consistent with getting the ball out of your hands. So, you know, 2 solid badges along with limitless spot up and brick wall to really help out Vassell. And next up, we have Sekou Dambou, a basically Aaron Gordon clone at 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan. Is actually a really solid card. Now, with Sekou Dambou, I think there's just a lot of, you know, tiny badges that you could add to him that really help out. He's got some of the main ones, and then after that, you can kind of just add what you want. Now, I think that because Sekou Dambou is going to be a power forward, small forward, has a good size for it, I think, you know, adding something with that 85 block like rebound chaser, or rim protector, rim protector and rebound chaser really could be helpful overall for his, you know, general ability, because he already has some good shooting, comes with a little bit of spot up, comes with a good quick first step, you know, has a lot of good finishing out there. So I think honestly coming down here, adding this, you know, rim protector, maybe the rebound chaser and worm really could be helpful, or rim protector, rebound chaser and box. I think box is a little bit more helpful for a power forward getting those box outs. People with worm you know, have not as easy of a time, you know, running around. But yeah, I just think in general, you know, boosting him up to be a all-around really great power forward is probably your best option. You know, use him kind of like a Sadiq Bey. Really can be fun because, you know, rim protector with a 6'10" wingspan on your power forward is going to be pretty great, along with the 85 block. It just can be fun. Next we have my man Devin Collins, and a 6-foot guard who I suspect most people probably aren't going to really try too much, but jump shot 39, that Kelly Oubre Jr., and has the slasher dribble style, which I know some people don't really love too much, but because his jumper's a little bit slow, I think adding something like a Deadeye really is going to help, along with limitless spot up, so we can shoot a little bit deeper, and whenever we're getting contested, it doesn't really affect us as much. And then obviously adding a brick wall, because we are an undersized guard, we want to make sure that is, you know, top notch. And then this last one is kind of a one that's up to you. Now, Intimidator, obviously going to be a great badge. It's basically good on everybody. But because he is our point guard, Handles for Days can also be a pretty solid badge to add to our point guard, especially if you're noticing he's running out of stamina a lot whenever you're doing dribble moves and it's just not really helping you out all that much. Handles for Days is going to be a great one. Or if you're really feeling like he's lacking on defense, people are getting into the paint and just, you know, shooting more consistently over you, Intimidator definitely one that you want to at least give some thought to. Next, we have my man Charlie Villanueva, who for some reason I really remember playing, and I cannot tell you why I have a memory of Villanueva so fondly, so forefront in my memory. But anyway, 6'11" with a 7-foot wingspan. He's going to be a solid power forward, but Villanueva does have a lot of badges that we're kind of wishing that we had. I mean, first off is Posterizer. I mean, boom. 75 standing and driving dunk. Really wish we had that. We don't have a quick first step. We don't have a cleanse. We don't have an interceptor, intimidator, pick dot. Like, we have a lot of badges for Villanueva that we don't have. But we have that mellow jumper on quick. So honestly, I think stuff like Deadeye blinders and things like that probably won't be the most helpful because we're most likely going to be taking him off the catch, and we have goal catch, we have Hudson Hunter, and we have sniper, and we have that mellow jumper on quick, which is going to be fast. So I think the best course of action for Villanueva, because he does have that big dribble style, probably won't be cheesy for you in general, is probably just boosting him up to kind of be that like center position, because he is 6'11" and he does have better interior defense. So I think something like adding a interceptor, adding an intimidator for 2 of our badges right there to really help us play a little bit better defense, and steal those passes out of the air, as well as having something like a pogo stick. That way we can jump a little bit more consistently if you want to. If that's not really too helpful for you, you don't think you're going to be jumping up for too many blocks, even though he's got rim protection and a decent block, then something like maybe a worm so you can get better rebounds could help, along with posterizer, just so he's a bit of a better finisher. Villanueva is a weird one because you could get him for a power forward or for a center. I don't know. Either way, I think it's a little bit weird. He's just missing a lot of badges, but he's still a decent card. Next, we have my man Lou Will, 6'1" with a 6'4" wingspan. And luckily for Lou Will, he's actually got a decent bit of the badges that you would want already added to him. But there's still a few that we can definitely help out on. Now, this one's really all up to you. Now, you can see for his inside, he doesn't really have any dunking tendencies. So adding posterizer probably won't help. He does have a 65 driving dunk. But again, these tendencies for standing, driving, and flashy are all 0. And alley-oop is 25. So I don't actually suspect that even though you have a decent driving dunk, I don't actually think he's going to go up for it too often or really at all. So putting on posterizer, just any of these real finishing badges probably won't help too much. Which leaves you in a weird predicament, honestly, because, obviously we have to add brick wall into Lou Will and post move lockdown just because that's going to help us out. But cutting off the finishing badges kind of leaves us with 3 badges that it's like, what are we going to add? What are we going to do? Because he does have, that quick and that D rows. So, honestly, it is a bit weird, but he could add a rim protector. Yes, he has a 75 block. Yes, he's a bit undersized, but occasionally that could actually help you out. Adding those 3 defensive badges out there. You also could add an off-ball pass, so he's sticking on the players a little bit more consistently through screens and things like that. But other than that, maybe a set shooter, maybe a stop and pop can really help you out. But again, because we just don't have this tendency, inside for actually going in and dunking, it kind of just limits what you want to do, because we could add posterizer and limitless takeoff. But, it's kind of tough. Although I think Lou Will is definitely one of the most slept on cards we have right now, because quick dribble style with that D Rose is going to be real fun. Next, we have my man Tony Kokoc, 6'10" with a 7'2", and I didn't know his nickname was the Waiter. I think that is actually kind of funny. But Tony Kokoc, yeah, doesn't have as many badges as you would like to add in here. But the one thing that's, I think, pretty simple, Deadeye. Boom, easy. Deadeye with that Brook Lopez base on the normal timing is really going to be clutch for just, this Kokoc's shooting ability in general. And then we have 4 more badges that we can really add to him to make him crazy. So I think something like a brick wall really can be helpful. Brick wall, box, and worm, it can be like 3 badges to really kit out your Tony Kokoc to be a perfect power forward at 6'10". That's gonna be great. And then if you do suspect that you're gonna be using him a little bit more off the dribble, hyperdrive can be a great one just to have out there, so his on the move dribbling moves are a little bit more consistent. But I think the better option is probably going to be going menace. A lot of people would probably prefer having him against somebody at the small forward position, and with guys like LeBron and KD out here running a lot of secondary, or really being the primary scorers, but being small forwards, and Tony Kokoc may actually be guarding them. Having something like Menace, so on those perimeter players, we're dropping their badges and their stats across the board, can really be helpful, along with being able to set the screens consistently, not getting back down, boxing them out on rebounding, getting those extra rebounds, and just Deadeye in general, just helping us shoot. I think that's probably the best way to go with Kokoc. Lamar Odom is a bit of an interesting one as well, because, I would love to add Deadeye to him, but we just can't, you know what I mean? Like, you just can't get it. So, the first badge is easy rim protector. I mean, 85 block and a 6'11" wingspan on a 6'10" guy, yeah, rim protector is going to be insanely good on Lamar Odom, just like insanely good. And then we also want to add a limitless spot up, blinders, and a chef. That way we can just shoot like crazy from like deep range and blinders, because we can't have Deadeye. Blinders is the next best thing, help those side contests. Hopefully we're getting around screens and just having fun around there. And then, that's what we have, rim protector. And then 3 badges up here, blinders, chef, and limitless. I think this last badge that you could have, it could, be up to you. If you're running Lamar Odom as more of a primary ball handler, Dimer can help. I don't think it gives you too much of a boost, but it can help. But again, in my opinion, I think Menace is just, the best option to go for, because yes, Lamar Odom is a small forward, power forward. The likelihood of him guarding the primary ball handler isn't as common, but, with guys like, Kevin Durant, LeBron, maybe Kawhi running at the small forward, running around, I think Lamar Odom, having that menace to drop those perimeter players' badges and stats, just like we were talking about in the last one, can just really help all around. Next up, we have my man, Jeremy Lin. Now, first badge, nice and easy. Give him limitless spot up. I mean, no question, as well as brick wall, for being honest. Limitless spot up, we just got to hit those shots a little bit deeper, and we already have Chef, so I mean, like, why not? And brick wall, just so we don't get back down as much. Post move lockdown can also be a really good one here, just because people like to drop step, post spin around on the smaller guards, so those two badges in conjunction can really help you all around. And then limitless takeoff, just because we already have, really good finishing and 85 driving dunk. We have pretty solid tendencies. Give them a limitless takeoff. Let's jump from deeper, just like jump on everybody, and just have a nice little quad of badges. And then this last one, I think personally can lean towards rim protector, because yes, he only has a 6'6" wingspan. That dude's got 80 blocks, so he should consistently get it. Or you could go the side of having a little bit more shooting and give him mismatch expert, because I think above 3 inches taller, whenever you're running around like a screen and they decide to switch it, mismatch expert actually boosts your odds of greening that shot and just getting the shot off in general without getting blocked. So that can actually really help with people running taller centers like DeAndre Ayton and Yao Ming and stuff like that. And at 6'3", there's a lot of guys that are taller than Jeremy Lin, and really can help out with that mismatch expert. So my personal pick, limitless takeoff, limitless spot up, mismatch expert, brick wall, and a post move lockdown just for some fun. And now we have two different ones with Chris Paul. I'm just going to check 100% check really quick. This Chris Paul can get every badge. So we don't actually need to cover both CP3s because the NBA 75 and the other one can both have the same badge up differences. So in my opinion, whichever one of these is cheaper should be the one you pick up, because the normal reason we pick up NBA 75 is because you can badge up one and you can't really badge up the other, but both of these you can badge up equally as well. So just put that out there. So Chris Paul is 6 foot with a 6'4" wingspan, but some people talk about him like he's the best PG that we got, because the dude is a demon. Like, the dude is a demon. So with CP3 already having crazy good finishing, the first badge that I noticed that he needs to have is brick wall. Like, needs to have. He is a 6-foot guard. He is going to try to get back down, and brick wall helps limit those back downs. It's not a crucial, like, save all perk, but it's definitely going to help Chris Paul be a little bit better there, as well as a post move lockdown, because again, they try to drop step us, they try to do all that sort of stuff against those shorter guards. You need to have that out there just to make him a little bit better, at avoiding those. And I think he already has Ball Stripper as well somewhere in here, right? Yeah, Ball Stripper's Hall of Fame. So I think aside from those two badges, it's kind of like a pick what you want to have kind of thing for Chris Paul, because not too many of these are going to help. Like, you could post spin if you wanted, you could back down to the post if you wanted with Chris Paul, but that's really not his game. That's really not what you're gonna have success with. So something like rim protector, really could help you out if you want to. Rebound chaser, just in case, because I mean, let's be honest, Chris Paul already has the pretty key badges. If you want to be a little bit trolly, lob city finishers, or Chris Paul can catch those, can be fun. But in general, honestly, I think the only two badges you really need to give him are brick wall and post move lockdown, and the rest can kind of just be Hall of Fame badges that you already have, somewhere in your collection that you just want to add to them. To make it more expensive, because really you just need brick wall, you just need post move lockdown. Everything else is just fluff for some fun. Next up is Joel Embiid, probably the best center in the game at this point if we're looking at it that way. And yeah, he's good. So yeah, with Joel Embiid, it's a bit interesting because we can add a few shooting badges which really help, and I think we should, like blinders, chef, and limitless spot up. Like those three, I think instantly everybody's got to add those onto the Joel Embiid. Really gonna help him just be a better shooter in general. Really great badges. Plus we mix that with jump shot 47, which is a really consistent jumper. I think those three can be great. Auxiliary finisher and acrobat are also two badges that are great. Auxiliary finisher allows us to move by defenders to get some of those layups off, and when we're paint mashing, that can help. But let's be honest, y'all do it at one point. It can help. And acrobat helps you just finish off some of those weird layups. So these two in tandem can actually be pretty helpful together, which you'd love to see. And then there's other things you could add, like unpluckable, so he doesn't get stripped as often, to really just help that out. If you don't really go the finishing route, you could add unpluckable, maybe like a pick dodger and ankle braces. That way, you're not getting your ankles broken ever with Joel Embiid. But I kind of like the idea of giving him these three shooting badges: blinders, chef, and limitless spot ups for a great shooter. Giving him acrobat and auxiliary finisher to boost even better how good his finishing is. And then unpluckable, just because, yes, we're not going to be dribbling with Joel Embiid, we're not going to be doing anything crazy like that, but Unpluckable is going to help us, not get stripped as often in general, tied with, Unstrippable out here, just to really help it, so Joel Embiid is really not getting ripped, and feels like he has a higher ball control than he actually does. And then last but not least, we have our man Michael Jordan, who I've seen a lot of people talk some trash about. And the first badge that just didn't make sense to me of how he didn't have it in general is going to be Giant Slayer. I mean, we're talking about a 6'6" Michael Jordan who doesn't have the Giant Slayer card. Like, come on, man. Like, that's got to go instantly, as well as Blinders and Chef. The Jordan Jumper is great, but when we don't have Blinders and Chef, it's just not going to be as good. So those two can really help as like a trio of badges: Giant Slayer, Blinders, and Chef. Get at a green machine if you want to. Helps consecutive greens. You get a bigger boost to your green window. But what I think after that could be the big trio here is going to be Brick Wall, Post Move, Lockdown, and Rim Protector. And that's because Jordan has an 80 block, already has crazy good defense. So let's just boost it up, man. Brick Wall, we're not getting pushed down. We're not getting drops or anything like that. And Rim Protector, because I've seen already some clips of people using this goal chase down artist on Michael Jordan and slapping some shots away that they definitely should not be. So boosting that up with a Rim Protector can really help everything else in general. Again, you could drop a post. I think Brick Wall and Rim Protector are like two key ones, but you could drop a Post Move, Lockdown, and give him something like Ankle Breaker if you really want to take ankles, have some fun, or a Dimer if you want to play him more as a PG. Overall, I think this Jordan is actually pretty solid, especially if you badge him up, but I wouldn't call him one of the best 2 guards. But overall, he's damn good. So that's how you badge up all of the Flash 5 cards in here. Again, if you're wondering why there's not 2 versions of Chris Paul, it's because they can both get the same badges, so there's no reason like repeating it over again. And the rest of them all pretty solid, man. Overall, I think this Flash 5 was a good set. It's obviously not one of the best, but we need some good sets that still give us some solid cards. And hey, we did get one of the best centers in the game at Joel Embiid, if not the best. So it's always gonna be a pretty solid time. So wow, let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Like the video if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new. We are on that road to 15K subscribers. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.